Hello, Anicod here, and today I'm going to show you where every single chess piece is in Superliminal. So you can click this little monitor here at the start of every screen, and you can see this cool little room right here where you can have a quick game of chess. So you know I don't like to waste anyone's time, so let's get straight into it. So the first one is the induction level, and this one is quite easy. In this room here, where this big block normally sits in front of the doors, you can pull the wooden beams off, which lots of people know about. You can pull any beam off, it doesn't really matter. If you lean it right up against the edge, use it as a ramp and climb up, then you'll see on your left hand side there's a little chess piece. The first little pawn, probably the easiest one you're going to get. The next one is on optical, and we all know this room where you line up the little door and you can remove it. Well, if you run through here and then look up to the left, you can see a huge wall. You do need another little tool to get up onto that wall, so I used a little block for example. Just make it nice and big. You can use the pallets to the right hand side to actually help you get on top, and once you're up there's a nice little castle there. And before you start moving on to the next level, that's not it, because in literally the next room you'll recognize this one. You have to start by lining up the block, and then once you collect the block you can jump up onto the top and you can line up the chess piece, remove it. It leaves a massive hole in the wall, I'm sure you're all well aware, and you can then use this to get on top of the ventilation system, because that's where the next one is. Now there's a million ways to get up here. I prefer using the little table at the back, the little shelves. It does take a couple of attempts unless you're good at parkouring, but once you're up there, make sure you watch out the way of the little cables, because there is collision on that, and all you have to do is run right to the end and you'll see another little chess piece on the floor. This one's actually a knight. So if you remember the TV screen at the beginning, every time you collect a chess piece it adds to the screen. So the next one is on cubism, and this dice actually splits in half. The idea is to make some sort of ladders or steps to get up into the bottom of the ventilation shaft. Now you don't actually have to get up into it, you can see it there. You can actually activate it through the ventilation shaft, which I'm gonna right now, and that's that one, nice and easy. So again, just a little bit further along, you pull the dice off the floor and it leaves a hole in the floor, and the next chess piece is literally on top of the ventilation shaft, so you can get up there with just the light. There is a chess piece there as well, so why not use it? And remember, you don't actually have to get up close and personal for it. All you have to do is get close enough to actually activate the little hand symbol like this. So the next one is in blackout, probably my least favorite map. If you remember this bit where you can get the little light and then you use this to navigate through the boxes, like I'm going to show you in a minute, there's two walls of boxes, so go through the first one and then you'll see the second one, and then the second one is where the chess piece is. So there's a couple of ways to get up. The easiest one I found is by using the sign as a big ramp. Might take you a couple of efforts, but once you get a good angle you can use the rest of the map around you to help get you where you need to be. So you can already see it on top there. We can't reach it from this range, so we do need to get a little bit closer. Be very careful because there is gaps right there, as you can see, but you can just use this sign to get all the way to the end, and there we go. That's the next chess piece. So the next one is also blackout. If you remember the IKEA room or idea, run right to the end and set the generator and it lights all the room up like so. And if you remember from previous videos, you can use these stands as ramps to get you across. Now if you look up through the window you can already see the chess piece, so we do have to get outside to be able to collect this chess piece. Through any of these windows you will see things you can pick up. We're just going to grab a tin of beans, that's all we need. We're going to do the usual thing where we go up the ramp and run across and then plonk the tin of beans down. Now there is a way you can get up, and that's by using the pump truck. You do need to be relatively decent at parkour, but it is possible to get up without any additional tools. If you are struggling with it, there's more tins of beans you can go back and use them to get up on top. But once you have stopped being a noob, all you have to do is jump across, jump up on top of the tins of beans, and then you can get out of the window. Don't worry about falling because you will not fall. Once you collect the chess piece, that's it. So the next one is in clone. Again, quite easy to get, it's just time consuming, that's all. So if you remember this room where you keep picking things up and they just clone, well the chess piece is actually right on top of the ventilation shafts. So the easiest way I've found is just by making the clocks as big as possible and then using smaller clocks as steps to get up. You can already see the chess piece up in the roof, and don't worry about spawning too many of these in because there is a way you can reset everything you've done done, and I'll show you that after we've collected the chess piece. So once we've made a load of clock steps, you can jump on top of the ventilation and you can see the chess piece there. Now if you look at any clock and then right click, it will reset them all back to the table. So don't worry about covering the door with clocks, because you can always reset it. Now the next one is the apple room. We all know how to do that trick now, and if you run through, you will see, if you're looking very carefully, a chess piece on top of the ventilation to your left. It is up there, and unless you're looking for it, you're not going to see it. There is a couple of ways you can get up. This was the oldest way, but there is a much easier way. If you use the little vase in the corner, and then you can actually get on top of the door, and then you can go from the door on top of the ventilation shaft. You can already see the chess piece. Once you're up there, collect the knight, and that's another one done. Next one is on dollhouse, and if you remember the fan room where you got to make the fan massive to knock over the Jenga blocks, you run through into the room with all the windows. Straight in front here there'll be a window you can pull off the wall. Once you make it big enough, you can actually run through, and then on top of the actual doorway is the chess piece. You don't need anything to actually get on top. As before, you can reach it through the top of the wall. So if you go around the back and just keep jumping, you can just jump and spam it, and you will get it. And that's that one done. The next one is the room that we found before the chess piece update even got released, and you can actually use this door as a ramp to get into that little area. There is a fire extinguisher as well, so if you're doing those achievements, you do need to get in here. Now this is quite tricky to do. The easiest way I found is if you walk back as far as you can, so your back's against the wall, and then you can use the door as a ramp. Just make sure that you're not actually covering the door with the fire door, because obviously you won't be able to get through. So this is about perfect. You can get through it, and then behind this little window here is a little pawn hiding away. Once you've collected that one, you're good to go. The next one is again quite high up. You do need the chess piece to actually get up. Well, you don't actually need it too much. There is other ways to get up there, but it's much easier with the knight. So if you jump on top of the table, the easiest way I found then is to use the knight to actually get on top of the pipework, and then you can actually pick the knight back up again and then put it on the pipework, and you can use that to get up. Remember, you've only got to get close enough to activate your little hand to reach it. So again, with a little bit of jump work, you can hit it quite easily. Next one is in white space, by far my favourite level. Absolutely love this level, and there's actually two in a very close proximity to each other. So we all know this bit where you make the room a bit bigger and you run through and it activates the little portal. Well, you can actually collect it and then put it into the vending machine. Make sure you spin the doorway around, so then when you run into the portal you don't fall out of the vending machine. And if you look up into the corner, there's a little castle there. As I mentioned before, the next one is in the same area. So if you put this bit back onto the table again, make sure it's big enough that it'll make you roughly the right size. Don't make it too small because it'll take you forever to run there. If you make it too big, you won't get through the door. So that's roughly the right size. Run around, and now you can actually get into the back. Obviously prior to the update you wasn't able to do this. If you look right towards the very back, jump on top of the cans, and you can see a little chess piece hiding away. Once you've got that, you're good to go. Now the final chess piece, this is 15 out of 15. I didn't mention it before, but there is 15 chess pieces, and there's at least one on every level apart from the ending, which is the bit just after white space. Now you do need the chess pieces to get up here. If you follow it round to the right, you can use the chess pieces as a bit of a ramp so you can actually climb up. Make sure you've got them the right size, obviously, or you're going to really struggle. And then once you put them next to each other, again with a little bit of wiggling, you can use them to get up on top here. Now this is by far the hardest chess piece to get, because you do have to solve a sort of little puzzle, and it is kind of glitchy how you can collect it. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So if you run around the top all the way around the outside, you can see that there's a little bit of chess piece painted on the side of the water dispenser, and if you keep running round, you'll see that the rest of it is painted just there. So it is very glitchy, but it does work. You have to align the top of it up with the chess piece, and you have to get it literally pixel perfect to collect it. So that's not good enough. It is really tricky, but don't worry, keep at it and it will work, I promise. So once you've lined it up like so, collect it, and then it'll say chess master, little achievement you get, which is collect all the chess pieces. So once you've collected all the chess pieces, chess, you can go back to the start of almost any level where you're running through the room and you actually see the screen, and the screen now becomes clickable. So when you click it, it will take you to a loading screen and it'll throw you into a room with a chessboard. Now, you can actually play chess. There's only 2 pieces you can move. You only need a basic knowledge of chess to know that the blue can take the pawn right here. So once you put them on, it'll say analyze impossible moves. You will get an achievement for this, and then you can carry on, and it will put you back inside white space. You can actually jump through the little window. You can use the chess pieces to help you get on top of the buildings. You'll know where we are now, and there is these little letters dotted around. That's not for this video, that's for a future video. But just have a play around, have an explore. You can carry on back to the ending again. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but you can do that if you wanted to. And if you look right at the very end, you can actually see the room that you came out of, which is pretty cool. I've tried getting back up there again. It probably is possible. I'm not sure why you'd want to. You can just click on any TV screen and get you back there, but it's there. So really appreciate you watching this far. If you have made it to the end, let me know you're a legend down below. The next video will be a rushed video, so stick around for that. If you like what you see, drop me a like. Feel free to subscribe and you'll never miss a video. And once again, thanks for watching.